This is Tracey from GiftBasketAppeal, and today we're going to take this Dollar Tree napkin and we're going to decoupage it onto this Patron bottle. I've been thinking about this for a while and wanted to do something like this. This will be a great idea for a 4th of July display or centerpiece. So let's get started. So let's open up this napkin and see what it looks like. And I have done another project with this. I will post that project below in the description box. And look how pretty that is. I am in love with this, and this will be great for like a masculine gift as well, because the red is not like real vibrant. It's kind of got a subdued look to it, kind of like a brick red color. So here's the bottle, and I'm going to cover all 4 sides, and I'm just going to measure this out to see how it goes. And then I'm thinking of using this twine and covering the top with it. And that twine is from Dollar Tree as well. So this is a great way to do a project that is budget friendly. Okay, so this is a great project for that, and I think this will go well with it. Looks like it blends in really good without being really vibrant. So I'm loving this. I'm going to go ahead and, even before I paint my bottle, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my napkin. And I'm just cutting right on the lines here, right where the fold is. And I guess I could just, I'd rather pull it apart like this while I'm cutting it. And then I could place it on my bottle to see how I want to place it. So with each piece that I do, I kind of look and see the shape of what it is, of how it looks like this. It curves up right in this area here. And so I want to make sure I get the whole star right in that area there, coming right up to the top. So I'm going to go as much as I can up here, and I want to have my stars included on here, just like that, so that each star falls on each side, falls right in the center. So like for this, I'm just going to cut, a little bit more off right here. And that just makes it a little bit easier when you get ready to Mod Podge it on your bottle. Okay, so each of them should look like that. Holding it up again, let's see. And that would work. That's going to look really cute. I could already tell. I just want it to come right around the sides and land right there. So maybe cut just a little bit off of here. Super cute. Yeah, so you just have to test it out, see what works. So I definitely want to make sure I get that star right on there. That's going to look really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut up the rest of my napkins to make sure they're all even. Okay, so in order to make my napkins really pop, I want that star to really stand out on my bottle. I'm going to paint my bottle first using some acrylic paint, and I usually use matte or glossy. It really doesn't matter. It's not going to show, but I really want that paint or that artwork to really stand out. And so I'm going to paint my bottle right up to the neck. I'll just go all the way up, even though I'm going to still end up covering part of this bottle around there with jute twine, right around the neck part. So I'm just going right up to here. That way I know my entire napkin is covering that white. And if you want to spray paint your bottle white too, you can do that, as long as it has that white base. Now if you want it to have a more translucent look, which I probably mentioned in some of my other videos, if you want to have that translucent look, you don't have to put the white paint under there, and then you can put lights in there and stuff. I think that will look pretty cool. I think this will be a great gift for a few people in my family since I have several people who are in the military or formerly in the military. This would be a great idea. And so that's what I've got so far, and it went on pretty good and pretty smooth. Let's see. Okay, and so I'm going to just go ahead and let this dry, and then we're going to be ready to apply our napkin. And for some reason, this one only requires me to put on one coat. Usually it doesn't go on as smoothly or with as much coverage as two coats, but this looks good. I think I can leave it like this and still go ahead and put my napkin on. Once your napkins are all cut up, and while your paint is drying, you can start to pull these apart. You just find a little corner here, and you can wet the tips of your finger to make it easier, because sometimes the napkins will separate once you cut them. Or you can take a piece of tape and just put it on here and just pull it apart. It'll separate since it's a 2-ply napkin. And that's what really makes that separation, makes your the color on your napkin really pop when you put it on the bottle. So yeah, you just want to go ahead and just pull your napkins apart so that you can already be ready to apply them. See how easy that is? So you just want to lightly wet your fingertips. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull everything else apart. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start with the Mod Podge. And I'm just using the glossy Mod Podge. It's the only one I've ever used. I haven't used any of the other ones yet. And we're going to just take one of this foam brush, but you can use a paint brush too. Some people have said they've had really good success with a paintbrush. So I'm just going to do this side by side. You just want to make sure you cover everything and then it goes on smoothly. And you don't need a whole lot of Mod Podge on there. But you want to make sure that every spot is covered. Okay, and so then we're going to go ahead and put our napkin on. And I want to make sure that I get the star centered in here. Just like that. Once it's on, I got it lined up around the bottom. And so I'm taking my cling wrap and I'm smoothing it out. And I'm just going from the middle and pressing out toward the edges. And you just do this very lightly when you're doing it. Look how beautiful that looks. I'm just going to let that lay down right on top here. Okay, and so that's what it looks like. Now I have, this part is sticking up, and that's all right. All I have to do is just take a little bit of this and just kind of go under there, because that was a spot that I missed. Just gently, and then take my saran wrap, cling wrap, and just go and press this down just like that. And I'm going to have some edges that do overlap on this once I start putting the other one on there. Let's see. And I was just trying to use my finger. So here's what happens if you use your finger. See that little thing right there? That little happy accident? My nail just nicked it and it ripped. And that's okay. See, I like to leave my mistakes in the video because it's all part of crafting, or what I call them happy accidents. It's all a part of crafting. Okay, so this is what we got. Look how nice and smooth that went on. So I'm going to leave that like that for now, and I'm going to work on the opposite side. and then I'll come back and show you what that looked like. Okay, so 2 sides down and 2 more to go. And look how smooth that napkin went on. I don't know if it's the texture of this, but it just really lays down on glass extremely well. And this is that Dollar Tree napkin. And you see I do have a wrinkle right there, if you're really looking, but I'm okay with that. And I took the other napkins, the other 2 sides, and I kind of cut them almost like a house shape. See that? So that it'll kind of fit in there, but not really perfect, but it will fit. I'm really concerned about getting that star in there. So that's good to me. I'm good with that. So let's go ahead and put this one on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do these other sides. And I'm just gently going over this because it's going to overlap a little bit. Just like that. Putting some of the Mod Podge up here. And if you want a perfect cut, you can do that. I'm not really concerned about having the perfect cut. I'm okay with it overlapping a little bit. So now I'm going to lay this right on top of here, just like that. And now I'm just going to smooth it out to get that bubble out of there. Look how gorgeous that is. Oh my goodness. So many projects. I probably should have gotten more than 1 pack of these napkins. You can do a lot with this. Okay, and see this side part here? My stars are going to be touching just a little bit. And I'm just putting a little bit of Mod Podge in here so that I can lay that all the way down. And the nice thing about this is that it has a little bit of has this crinkling in it, the napkin itself, so that covers up some of your wrinkles. Okay, and just 1 more side to go, and then I'm going to just Mod Podge the whole thing. So we got that part, and we got this 1 more to go. So let's do that side, see how this goes on. And I did give the napkin a little bit of time to dry. This particular napkin right here, gave it just a little bit of time to dry a little since I knew I was going to be overlapping on it. And that way I wouldn't be overdoing it, saturating it with the Mod Podge. Okay, I'm just coming right down up there. All right, let's put this one on. I'm loving this. Make sure y'all can see this. I am loving this. I think this would look nice as a napkin card too. Okay, it's coming down the line there. And then if you want this to shine, you can I usually put like at least 1 coat of Mod Podge on top of it and it's good to go. You can put 2 if you want. I always let them dry in between. So right now this doesn't have any Mod Podge on top of it, but I'm going to go over it with some Mod Podge. So I'm going to let it dry for a little bit, and then we're almost done. Okay, so now that the first coat is dry, look how awesome that looks. And it's still a little bit sticky, but you're able to handle it. I'm going to start putting the other Mod Podge coat on it. And I'm just going to do 1 coat of this. And I'll make sure I put everything that I used. So I'm just being very kind of going right down and just gently smoothing it over. And don't worry that it's cloudy because it's going to dry very clear. I think I got too much of that on my brush. Don't put too much on there. So I just want everything to be covered and it'll have a nice glossy texture to it. And we get our bottles at one of the restaurants. And so the bartender there saves these bottles for me. And so it's a good way to keep them out of the trash. Great way to recycle because all they do is throw them away. And so why not make art out of them and give them as gifts? Okay, so I'm just going to go over these. And you just don't want to do it too hard, but you just want to get it so it's really smooth on there. Really smooth. And then I still have to add the twine around the neck. And to do that with the twine, I just use, the Mod Podge since it's a glue. And I wrap the twine around it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. Let it dry, and then I'll show you how we decorate with the twine around the neck. Okay, so this is what my bottle looks like. And look how pretty that napkin is. It's got a little bit of roughness to it. It's got some wrinkles around the edges here, but I like that kind of rugged look. I'm loving it. And if you notice here, this is where I'm going to go around with the jute twine. Right around the neck, right up to about here. So I'll leave this area clear. And so all I'm doing is I'm going to use my Mod Podge, since it is glue, and just kind of cover that area so I can start it. Let's see. So I'm just going to go around this area here. And you don't need a whole lot. That twine will definitely hang on there pretty good. And so I'll just start this off so you can see the beginning, but you'll get it. And you may have seen me do this in another video as well. I'm just putting some of my Mod Podge on here. Well, you can use whatever glue you're comfortable with, but since I'm already using the Mod Podge, this will still work. But this really dries nice and clear. It's got a nice little sheen to it. And don't be afraid to try this out. Just go ahead and get started. Don't try to do it and say, okay, it's got wrinkles, so I'm just not happy with it because it has wrinkles. Just relax and let it be. Let the creativity flow. And so you can do this on plastic containers. I've done it on boxes before, like little soap boxes. And just try different surfaces. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing here. So I'm just pushing it up. Like as I put the rope on here, I'm just putting this up. Yep. Forgot to turn my phone off. So I'm just going to go around and wrap this around and around. Just like this. And you see how that's so easy. And I usually kind of overlap because I want it to be a little bit bulky. Usually just kind of overlap it and go back up again. So it's just up to you how you want it. And any spaces, I just kind of push it up. So it's really nice and tight. But once I overlap it, it'll be fine. Put a little bit more of the Mod Podge on there. Come around here. Just letting you see that whole process. And look at that. So I'm just letting it lay right on. Let's put a little bit more. I'm just letting it lay on the surface. And look at that. And don't worry if you have a little bit of the twine on there. See how that is? Don't worry about it. It'll dry clear. You have that twine and then you have the glue right there. Just let it keep wrapping around. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end it on the bottom here. Let's see. And then what I'll normally do is I'll take more twine. Now you see I'm putting this right on top of this. I'll take more and then just start like right here. Because I want that neck to look a little bit thicker. And I want to cover up any empty spaces that might be in between there. So that's just another way to do it. But do it however it works for you. See how that is? Just going in there. Just letting that fall in between here. And I like the fact it's got a rugged look to it. I think Bill will like this one because it doesn't have any bling. And it's got his favorite crafting tool, which is the baker's twine, or I should say the jute twine, or like he calls it, I think he called it the baker's rope. Yeah, so I'm just winding it back up again, and I'm just pulling it real tight. And then I'm going to put a little bit more glue to end it at the top. Once I come up to the top, I'm going to end it again. So just want to fill in any of those little spaces. So you see I'm not being super neat with this. And you really don't have to be neat. Or at least super neat, right? Like I say, your craft room, your rules, right? Okay, so just going to let that dry for a moment. And I had so much fun doing this. Look at that. I love the way that twine matches with the star. So you could do all kinds of stuff. You could add bling to it. You can go around the outline with some rhinestones if you want. There's just so much you can do. Let me show you the one that I did add a little bit of bling. I made a matching one. Look at this. Just added a little bit of bling around here. With the blue, this is the those wraps from the bling wrap from Dollar Tree. They had it in blue. So these will look so pretty on your table. I'll post pictures at the end because I know this one is not dry so that you can see, but look how adorable these look just from napkins. And it's so easy and cheap to make. But they look great. And so imagine a bunch of these sitting on a table for some type of event, or if you want to give one as a gift to someone. So I hope this inspired you. Go ahead and get those napkins. They have some at Dollar Tree, but I also saw some patriotic napkins at my local Kroger store. So I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a grocery store, and they have the best napkins. So I will see you real soon. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and have a wonderful day.